What is it about people being around that makes it harder? Do you get drawn into other people's words? Other people's thoughts? You learn to be selective after a while. It's not hard to identify where people are at quickly once you meet them and you talk to them, or you're in their environment for a little while. You soon get an insight into where they're at and how much to engage and how much not to engage, and how to maintain stillness when possible. People are good for training. They're good to remind you of your training and to remind you what it's like when you don't train, when you don't govern yourself effectively. People that do things isn't a problem. You can allow people to do things, but it's when people expect you to be pulled along with them, or when you allow yourself to be pulled along with people who always are busy and always want to be doing things. So multiple questions arise, why do you allow yourself to be pulled along by people? Do you allow yourself to be pulled along by people when you don't want to be? Sometimes there's a benefit to another person or to you to allow yourself to be pulled along or to be pulled into a situation. But then other times you're pulled into a roundabout that just goes around and around and around. And it's more draining than anything. When you identify that, you have to bring a stop to it. If you identify that that's what's happening, you have to bring a stop to it. You're trying to gather your energy and gather your stillness, to gather yourself in stillness. And so obviously, if there are people around you that are pulling you into unnecessary movements, then obviously you have to bring a stop to that. That can be hard. Depending on the person, depending on the practitioner, and depending on the person or the people that are pulling you along, and your attachment to those people, or your fear of hurting their feelings. And that's what I mean by you have to be selective. You have to be able to defend yourself. Because you can just leave people alone. If those people want to be busy and doing things, well, it has nothing to do with you ultimately. But if you're unable to keep a distance from that activity when you want to keep a distance, it's you that's got the problem, it's not them. Most people are just doing what people do. Things. They're doing things. They're doing things they want to do. And that's fine. It has nothing to do with you. You just have to govern yourself. And that's where that's where some practitioners find themselves struggling because they can't effectively govern themselves that way. They're too afraid, or they're too guilty. They feel too guilty. They feel too afraid. And then obviously that's what they need to be working on. So people are good for reminding us how to train better. Those types of people, anyway. The busy kind of people.